Welcome back, guys. So you might think this is your favorite video so far this year. Why? No worksheet. What? No worksheet. That's right, no worksheet. What are you going to turn in? You see this Ghibli Glock on the screen right here? Yes, I said like Ghibli Glock or Ghibli Glock. You're going to turn this in. You're going to screenshot something like this. It's not going to look like this because, frankly, we're just going to do some practicing with some basic tools. I don't need you to define what a spline is. I don't need you to tell me how to do a slot. You're going to demonstrate that to me. So as long as you have enough information on it where I know what you did good. You with me on that? So let's do good. All right, so here we go. We are going to start off with doing a new sketch. I have a list next to me on what this is going to cover, and we're going to go down this list, and I'm going to teach you guys all the little things about drawing tools. After that, you're going to start on your first drawings and your first little packet of stuff. So here we go. So you all started off on your sketch screen. Good job. Let's hit the down arrow for line. A long list of things here we're going to cover. Not a long list. It's about 10 things. So the first thing are splines. Okay, so there's two different types of splines. Spline I rarely ever used. Maybe if we're connecting some curvature or something we might. But overall there's two types. I'm just left clicking right now, so you're just going to leave all this stuff on the screen. So I'm left clicking a few times. I'm going to press the little check mark. When you do that, you get these little things that can move up and down. Like I said, splines are something I never really use, but it's something that you might need to later on. I use it making the pumpkin. You might remember that from last year. Now I'll do the other spline. This one's a little different. I just want you to see the difference. Press check mark. You'll see here on these, it goes within. Now, and that's it for spline. Sorry I did a jump there. I realized I did not want to do something. You also can grab these little nodes too, and do more bending. So splines are kind of fun to play around with, but nothing I really use when it comes to any sort of mechanical drawing. Circle, you've seen circle before, but let's do an ellipse. So I want you to apply some measurements to this. So when you draw an ellipse, you click someplace, you move it over, you click again, and then you move your mouse up. Okay? So if you're going to set an ellipse, let's all do this real quick. You have to do a dimension. You click on the ellipse, and it will give you both the radius of it and then the height of it. So let's say this is 4, and let's do it again, and let's make this 2. Okay, so pretty simple. So that's an ellipse. There's only one way to do it. I know in AutoCAD they had the end-to-end one. In this one, it's just a radius one. So real quick, I may have told you this, I may not. But circles always default in diameter. So when you're looking at measurements, you always see it goes across. So if you're having to draw an arc that shows a radius, you have to do the math. You just can't do a different command to do radius and then transfer over to dimension. So not a big deal, but I just want to tell you guys that. I'm just going to leave him right here. Okay, arcs, we've done these, so you're good on arcs. Let's go to rectangle. We're going to look at the other rectangles. So there's a 3.1. Might have a reason for this, might not, who knows. You click, and then you go with. Okay, let's draw another rectangle. Let's draw a 2-point. I love these. These, you click on the middle, and you go out, tab. So if you already have a center point made, and you're drawing a rectangle around that, really, really handy. Let's make this one 15 by 10. Okay, let's do another rectangle. This is a 3-point center. So boom, maybe you have to attach it out to something else. Maybe you're clicking the width from one side like to the next, but as you see here, it does the same thing. Just dump this one. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, then we have slots. There's a few different ways to make slots. I'm going to do 2 of these. The other ones I never really use a whole lot, but you may have a reason for it one day. A center slot is where you click, and then you move it out. Okay? If you're doing a measurement on these, you would usually just click in the middle right here, and let's go 10. And then you might need to do this where you do your outside radius. Let's go 2. So now you have that done. A center point slot is where you have the middle, you go out, and then up. But same basic thing. Just different methods, do the same measurements as the other ones, just a different method of doing it. Last thing I want to show you, I'm not going to go through all that, is Polygon. So once in a while, you do have to start off a drawing with a polygon. Once again, we have our fun words, inscribed, circumscribed. I said it correct this time. Okay, circumscribe is what you're commonly going to use. What does that mean? It's across the flats. So when you measure, it's measuring from here to here. Now, the only thing with doing these is that you just can't type in measurements on the polygons. It does not let you. So if you're doing this, you have to do a diameter in order to show that. Let's go 13 since it's closest to that. So on your polygons, let's do one more. Let's go 8 this time. Oh, don't press enter because I just did and it went away. So just change that to 8. Now click and draw it out. And you see here that I'm on inscribe, so it's on a corner right now. So it wants to like anchor things on a corner. So on the inscribe, you see it tries to make it on a corner. But if all of a sudden I'm on a circumscribe, you see it's on the flats. Does that make sense? Okay. And once again, you have to do a diameter tool in order to make that correct. That's just 20 for the heck of it. Okay? So that's Polygon. Next, let's do some fillets in 2D. Now, I would highly recommend avoiding doing fillets in 2D. I would really recommend you doing them in 3D unless you just have to. Do them in 3D. It's much easier to make a change to them because once you do this in 2D and then you move on to another part of your drawing, it's stuck that way. Where if you do it in 3D, it's easier to change. So let's choose this rectangle that was 15 by 10. You click sides, just like AutoCAD. See there? There's your fillet. I changed this to, let's say, 1/2 inch. Don't press enter. If you press enter, it vanishes. Just like that. So just type in your measurement, click and click. Click and click, click and click. There you go. Now, let's say you want to do a chamfer. Chamfer is pretty much similar to that. You have your distance, you have your distance 1, which if you want a different one, let's do that one, why not? So let's do this as, I don't know, 1 on top and 0.125 on the bottom. You click, and it will change it for you. Depending, the first one you click is going to be 1, the next one is going to be 0.125. You see that? You can change this to 1 also, and it'll be the same, but it's kind of like the first one again. 1 and 1, and there you go. Also puts your measurements on there, which is kind of nice. You also could do the angle, and that'll do the same thing too. So that's chamfer. I said, not going to spend a whole lot of time with that. I just want you to know that these do exist in 2D. You've done most of the modification tools. There is a scale. So if you have to, let's say, scale up a rectangle, let's just scale up this rectangle right here. You highlight it, you choose a base point, you click a base point, and then it can go big. Okay? You set the scale factor, let's go scale factor of 3. Now it's a big rectangle. Keep this right here because we're going to use this here in a minute. Or maybe we'll use it right now. You see an offset, right? Let's do it one more time. So when you offset something, let's pick on our little slots down here. It does not pick just one line. It picks the entire object within. So please keep that in mind. And it wants you to set it. So let's go 0.5. Going in or going out, I don't care which way. So when you choose offset, now you don't have to click things again because if you're doing multiple different offsets, it stays on that last function that you've chosen. So that's pretty neat actually. Okay, let's use this big rectangle up here. Let's put a measurement on here first so we know how big it is. Let's make this 30 by, I don't know, 20. I'm just making up a number here. Because I want you guys to do a rectangular array next. Dump a circle right up here. Let's make that circle 3. That's a good size. Let's set it to a specific place. So I'm going to set this to, let's go 3 again. And let's go 3 down. So do that for me real quick, and pause, and we'll show you how to do the rectangular pattern. Got it? Good. All right, so rectangular pattern. Now, once again, this is something I would typically advise you guys to only do patterns in 3D. I've shown you that a few times already in the previous videos. Some instances you can do this, but I wouldn't do this a whole lot. Why? It ties your hands. These are hard to adjust once you do them. So, I click my geometry first. I click an arrow. You have to choose a direction to go to. So usually you would have a line or something that will go along the plane that you want to follow. I'm going to click here. Now, if I zoom in, I can kind of see the shade of the preview of it, which obviously that's not going to be far enough away. So let's go 3. Nah, let's go 5. That way I have a space. And let's change this to 8. How many is that? Oh, that's too much. Let's go 6. Awesome. If you're going to go in the down direction, you have to click this arrow here, go down. That's really hard to see. And I'm going to go, let's go 4, and let's go, let's go 4, and then let's go 3 again. Let's flip it, and you see it's still a little bit tight there. Let's go 5, and there we go. Now it's filled in. Press OK. Not bad. But let's say you have to make a change to it. Now, you can't change like individual ones because these are locked in. I'm trying to erase the constraints that won't let me. These are all locked into whatever these are. You just can't make a change to one on these. That's the only down part about doing a array in 2D. But if I click on this 3 and change that to 2, it gets smaller. If I change this to 1, it moves everything up. So either way. So I'm done with that now. Let's do a circular pattern and then one more thing, and then we're going to call it a day. So let's make a circle. Let's say he's 30. And let's do another little circle straight above the middle, somewhere. I don't care where. Let's make him 4. So circular pattern is just like rectangular in many ways. Just makes a pattern. You click your geometry. You have to click the arrow. If you just click the dot, nothing's going to happen. You have to choose this axis arrow, but if you choose it twice, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to press OK. Once again, if I change this to 5, it changes too. Okay. Now the last thing I'm going to show you guys, this is kind of a weird tool. I never use this, but I'm just going to show you it. There is a little thing called Dimension All. It dimensions everything. Your computer may freeze on this, so if you don't want to do it, it's okay, and just watch me. If I click this, it's going to tell me how many measurements are missing. So let's say I'm trying to get all my measurements in on an object, but it's just not coming out. I don't know what's missing. I choose Apply. It takes a moment. It's thinking. It's thinking. There's smoke coming out of my computer right now. Surprised the alarm isn't going off. It's working. It's working. See by my screen? That means it's working down there. If it's working hard, to do something. I don't know what. Well, I do know what. But once you hit it, it's set. So just so you know like what that button is, that's that. Oop, I froze it. So, let's not do that and say we did. It'll probably unfreeze. Here's what you're going to turn in. That's funny. Oh, that's not good. But here's all I want you to turn in. Take a screenshot of what's on your screen and turn that in. So, in other words, use a snip tool. Don't ask what that is. I was looking up a design. Draw it out like this, even if it's frozen. Save this. This is what you will turn in. I pointed at the screen because I know that you can see me point at the screen. So that's it for this video. Pretty simple. It's just making a mess on your screen. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. And good luck on your first set of drawings. Later.